The way that Number 10 has reacted to this story has made it in many ways worse for the government than it needed to be. The shifting sands of the position of Number 10 has really accentuated this story into something bigger and something more protracted than it could otherwise have been. It was interesting listening to the Prime Minister's official spokesman this morning. I say this morning, it's normally this morning. Actually, it was so delayed, the lobby briefing this morning, that we were sat around waiting for 35 minutes after it normally begins. After midday, the Prime Minister's spokesman finally turned up in the lobby briefing room of number 9 Downing Street to tell us assembled journalists there that what had gone on was a length of time to establish the facts. The argument from Number 10 as to why there was a different line from the government minister on Monday morning through to Sunday morning, through to Monday morning, through to Tuesday morning, why that line seemed to have shifted, is because it took time, they say, to establish the facts. Initially, their argument goes, the Prime Minister didn't remember that he was briefed about this FCDO investigation into Chris Pincher that began in 2019. We understand reported in early 2020. The Prime Minister, of course, having recently won an election at that point. We all remember how long ago the early part of 2020 feels, before COVID, of course, just as Brexit was finally settling down. All of the change that has occurred since then. The argument of Number 10 now is that the Prime Minister initially did not recall what was a non-official briefing to him at that time, and it took time for him to be reminded of that briefing. Now, that's the line that Number 10 say. However, to many people that does sound less than credulous, because of course it's not every day that a relatively senior minister is officially investigated for impropriety, particularly sexual impropriety. There's a big question now as to who was telling the truth. Did the Prime Minister really have trouble recalling this briefing, or was the Prime Minister less than truthful? And particularly, was he less than truthful to the ministers that were sent out on those morning rounds on Friday, on Sunday, on Monday and this morning? That's the big question. Who here is telling the truth?